Hey, mahal everyone! Welcome back again to the Broadway Saiyan YouTube channel. I'm your host 40 and we are back with another video on the Alchemist Code. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the upcoming two new characters, Shenmei and Flamel, kind of seeing what they're all about as far as what we have in game. Then I'm going to give you a little bit of what I already know from sources that I've read, such as the alchemistcodedb.com, the Reddit, and the Facebook, and then finally whether or not you guys should be pulling for this banner. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at these units. So the news announcement says, check out the details for our two new units, Shenmei and Flamel. For a limited time, the two new units, Shenmei and Flamel, will be available as mercenaries for free. Take the chance to try out the units and use them to aid you in your battles. So there we go, we have Shenmei. As we can see, she is a pirate, so she is the first unit that we are getting in Global that has access to the Job Pirate. Along with that, she also gets Job 2 Thief and Job 3 Crafter. Her leader skill is Pure Water's Worship. It raises the physical attack by 50% for all water units, so it's the same leader ability that Shayna has, okay? And then the game recommends that the job you should have for her is Pirate. The fixed ability you want is Marine, which comes from Pirate, and then the basic ability you want is Basic Marine. The reaction ability is Choppy Sea. The passive you want is Spirit of the Sea God, which raises fire resistance and water resistance, and then the passive 2 you want is Move +1, which comes from Thief. A little bit of details on her: she's a pirate from the Greed Dyke, who sails her pirate ship, the Zhao Shenmei. She has absolutely no sense of direction as a sailor, but due to her cheerful, positive attitude, she's often involved in virtuous piracy. That's how she's earned the unconditional loyalty from her crew. So she's another cheerful unit. There seems to be a lot of cheerful units in Alchemist Code. Alright, moving on, we have Flamel, who we all thought was a girl, but is actually a guy. Pretty unique design there. So Flamel gets access to Job 1 Mage, Job 1 Magic Swordsman, Job 3 Beast Tamer. Leader skill is Fresh Wind's Trance, raises physical attack by 30% for wind units. So if you need a leader for wind units that use physical attacks, Flamel's there for you. Recommended from the in-game is Beast Tamer, along with the fixed ability Beast Mastery, Basic Beast Mastery. Reaction also comes from Beast Master, which is Defensive Instinct, which has a chance of raising Flamel's own evasion rate for 1 turn when receiving damage. Passive that you want is Feral Kid, because it raises agility, which is pretty good because agility is a pretty important stat in this game. And then passive 2 is Divine Shelter, which is from Magic Swordsman, which raises all elemental resistance. So Flamel is a young chimera, so that's probably why he looks like that. He's a hybrid of humankind, long-tail rabbits, and white dream herons. Because of that, he's able to produce 2 sounds at the same time. In the world of magic, that's a highly regarded ability, so he became a court mage. His vulnerability, though, is that he cannot bear the pressure of the expectations from his surroundings. So that's the details that we have and a little bit of flavor on Flamel. So moving back, what do I know based on what I've read with Shenmei? So her pirate class, which is new to us, focuses on water physical attacks, and then she has 2 other abilities. One comes from her marine ability, which deals dark damage, and then the other one comes from her basic marine, which deals missile attack. And then I believe this is I think this is a typo on her Choppy Sea, because when I was looking on the Alchemist Code DB, they said that Choppy Sea performs a magical water counterattack, which I find really interesting because the rest of her abilities are physical. So I'm not sure whether it's actually physical or magical, so if somebody can confirm that, that would be great. Everything else about her, the only thing that really sticks out, obviously, is Pirate, because it's a class that we've never had. But from what I see, it's kind of... It's very, very focused on dealing water damage. So she would fit well on a water-based team. So if you have a team like with Shayna as your lead, or Shenmei as your lead, and then you have units like Selena, who else? Lofia. So some of those good water units on a team, that would be a really good team to run. Other than that, her Job 2 Thief, as we all know, Thief is not really that great of a class. The only thing worth getting from Thief, in my opinion, is the passive Move +1, because it increases the unit's mobility. And then Crafter is pretty much a toned-down version of Machinist. It does have great passives, though, one of them being, I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but it reduces the oncoming damage that the unit takes. So it's kind of like the passive that Magnus, or even like Vettel or Selena has, where when they receive damage, there's a chance that they reduce the amount of damage that they receive. And then they'd also get Booster +1, which is a good passive from Crafter, which increases agility. So that's another really, really good passive that you can get from Crafter. But unfortunately, with Shenmei, her Job 2 and Job 3 are a little lacking. You would only really unlock them for the passives that you get, and then you would keep her as her Job 1 pirate. Now, moving on to Flamel. Oh, Flamel. So, when I was looking at Flamel's job lineup, I was a little confused. So we have Mage, which Mage is... it's... I mean, if you have nothing really else to use, by all means go with it, but Mage is pretty lacking. For one, it has a move of 2, and that's not very good, and then most of the Mage's powerful abilities require charge time, and without any other passives that really influence charge time, or the charge for the spell casting abilities, kind of lacking there for job 1. Job 2, Magic Swordsman, gets a little better. One of the passives for Mage can actually complement this because Magic Swordsman's abilities deal magic damage, so you could actually slap on that passive for Mage that increases magical attack damage on it, so it would complement it a little bit. And then the third job, okay, Beast Tamer is great. But the problem is that the other 2 classes focus on magic-based damage, so to go from 2 classes that deal magic attack to a class that deals completely physical, and then recommend to us to just use almost everything from that class kind of doesn't make sense. So the issue here that I see with Flamel is that his classes don't really complement each other, besides Magic Swordsman getting that passive from Mage. I mean, Divine Shelter helps if you want to run him either as a Mage or Beast Tamer. It helps with elemental resistance, so a little bit of survivability there. But again, kind of all over the place. There is a little bit of light at the end of the road. I do know that Flamel does get a job plus later on. This is information from the Japanese version of Alchemist Code. So if you do happen to pull a Flamel, you know, there is hope at the end of the road. So he does get a lot better because he's actually ranked pretty high amongst all wind units when he gets his job plus. But for now, you're probably going to be benching him unless you absolutely really like him. You're going to be benching him. So if you pull him, there's hope later on, but not really much worth using, especially since we already have units like Yomi, Lucian, Rahu, and Bolt, who are far superior to Flamel. So, after all of that information on Shenmei and Flamel, should you pull for these units? My recommendation is just go for the first 500 pull, and if you absolutely have to, just finish the 3-step. Now, the banner might be worth it if they include other, like, 4-star base units that are actually good, such as, let's say, like, they include, like, Lofia in there at a rate up, or they include Rahu, or they include Lucian, and then if they include, like, another 5-star base unit that's pretty good at a rate up, like, let's say they put Suzuka in there, that would make the banner a little bit more worth rolling for. But as far as the characters themselves, unfortunately, unless you really, really like these units, or let's say, like, you don't have a Shayna, and you need that leader skill for water units, might as well just go for the 500 pull. You know, pray to RNGesus that you'll pull one of these units, and if you do, you know, at least later on, you know, you can consider them as like future projects, like long-term projects, like you can slowly build them up. But I definitely wouldn't recommend going past the 3-step pull or even past the 500 pull. My recommendations is save your gems for the upcoming collaboration, which right now the rumors are it's either going to be Phantom of the Kill or possibly even Fate Stay Night. So those are going to be the possible collaborations that we're going to be getting for this month. So if you have gems to spare, definitely save it up for that, but only go as far as maybe like the 500 or even up to the 3-step for these 2 units. Just a little bit of updates, guys. So I am going to be making a video on what I feel like is important for Alchemist Code Global. It's going to be on the future of, you know, the banners, because from what I'm seeing right now, there's a little bit of a pattern that Gumi is doing for the global version of this game. I think the reason why they're doing it, if they continue to do it, is they're trying to catch the game up to JP, so then that way global players don't always have to constantly refer to JP and things like that. But I'm going to be doing a video in regards to when to pull and when probably not to pull. Some of you guys may agree on it with my thoughts, some of you guys will not, but I feel like it's important because a lot of people, whenever these banners come out, they ask, should I pull on this? Are these characters good? This and that, this and that. So stay tuned for that video, and hopefully this video on Shenmei and Flamel helps you guys out. If it did, please smash that like button and subscribe if you're new to future Alchemist Code content. Once again, I am the Broadway Saiyan, my name is 40, stay tuned for the next video, and mahal everyone.